What's going on? Your boy AB. We back at it again with another episode of Open Gym. Eagles, Commanders. We all know the Eagles lost. I told y'all. Y'all told me any quarterback can play in this system, in this offense with these weapons. You can win with anybody. I'll tell you one thing. It was totally different, and we got to see what exactly this team is like without Jalen Hurts for the first time this season. And we're going to talk all about it here on Open Gym Network, powered by Philly Sports Network. Let's go.
This champ talk, shooting shots, they just want me to fade. But my game made when I'm getting buckets today. Crossover, pull up, bet you fall for the hezzy. Game 7, prime time is butterflies on your belly. Now can you do it? Folding under the pressure, boy, can you do it? If you going, show 'em who better. Don't let the game slip and don't get caught in the lights. Crown me, yeah, Jordan taking off on the
Baby,
flight.
give me all the rings right now, we the champions. We the champions. I do my thing right now and it can't be done. They said it can't be done. Give me all the rings right now, we the champions. We the champions. I do my thing right now and it can't be done. They said it can't be done.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy AB, and welcome to another installment of Open Gym here, powered by Philly Sports Network. I'm your host, AB, man. We are here once again to talk about everything in the city of Philadelphia Eagles and whatever's going on, and specifically today. Again, before we get started, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to all channels, to all social media platforms. We're here continuously each and every day giving you some form of content, some form of fun. But listen, man. Listen, I know the conversation today is about the Eagles. They lost against the Washington Commanders, snaps the 10-game win streak. All that is good and dandy. But I want to get into the topic of the subject this morning, this afternoon. And straight to the point, man. Jalen Hurts and his impact on his team. I was told that with this offense, anybody can run it. You can put any quarterback in this offense. It doesn't matter, who's there with Saquon, with A.J. Brown, with Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, this offensive line, all these things. It won't miss a beat. You could put any and anybody back there to be able to run this offense, and they should be able to be competitive and win games in this NFL. I'm here to tell you today, everyone here that's joining in, I appreciate you guys stepping into the room, is that is not so. That is not so. And I told you guys that all these arguments and discussions about, Jalen Hurts is the passenger on the bus, Saquon is driving the bus, A.J. Brown is more important, Saquon is more important. And as we all seen, when the Eagles against the Washington Commanders in Washington go up 17-0 easily, and our beloved quarterback, QB1, Jalen Hurts, goes down with a concussion injury, out for the rest of the game. We see what happens. I've told y'all before, everyone compliments everyone. Quarterback compliments the running back compliments the wide receivers, the talent on the offense compliments the play calls on the field from the offensive coordinator, head coach, and all that showed fruition. I know everyone wants to talk about the defense, and we'll get into the defense as well. We'll talk about Jake Elliott missing field goals, the defense giving up points, etc., etc. All those things are fine today, but I'm here to tell you, if Jalen Hurts played in this game, this would be no contest. The way that game was trending, and I'm not saying Washington wouldn't have made some plays. We know that Jaden Daniels was healthier this time, but we can all see that they took their heart, they took their everything from them early on in this game. And if it wasn't for the fact that they knocked out the most important piece of the Philadelphia Eagles offense in QB1 and Jalen Hurts, they knew they didn't stand a chance. And let's break it down and let's look into what happened. So Jalen Hurts alters the run game, the pass game, all those different things that we take for granted. Oh, he needs to throw better, make better decisions, don't turn the ball over. all those things that we cry about, but there's countless situations and times that they played in games where, he had a fumble or something like that. They was able to overcome those things. Not this day. Kenny Pickett comes to the game. Yes, he throws the touchdown to make us go up 14-0, obviously. But that was on the hands of Jalen Hurts getting us down into the red zone, and boom, there goes the 14 points. But since then, for the second 2 quarters and a half, nothing from the offense. Absolutely nothing from the offense. The only time we drove down the field, especially on the 84-yard run, the 84-yard drive down the field, if you want to call it that, to get us in the red zone, penalties. A.J. Brown, cooking Marcus Lattimore, getting us down the field, holding penalties, pass interference penalties, all those different things that happened, that transpired just to get us down the field. We had a lot of help in those situations. Jake Elliott missing a field goal didn't help, but to get into the red zone 3 different times for in the second half and to come away with only 6 to 9 points essentially throughout the game, unacceptable. People want to know why the defense got scored on that much going on to they was on the field too much. And I told you, football is a complementary sport. At the end of the day, they need time to be off the floor. But when you're sitting there going out there and your offense is 3 and out, punt here, turnover here, that's unacceptable. And it won't work. And it won't work with this team. How many times we was out there, it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, where we know those are moments where it's tush push time. We laugh about the tush push. We say how, we don't like to play in it. And I'm one of the ones I don't want to see it all the time, but is it necessary? Does it work? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't run that with Kenny Pickett. The defense can all they did was key on Saquon Barkley the rest of the game and said, Kenny Pickett, you throw the ball and you beat us. And guess what he couldn't do? And people taking this notion that Kenny Pickett didn't hurt the team. He played well enough that, it didn't lose it for us. And I absolutely agree. But I'm here to tell you that Kenny Pickett also didn't do anything to help us win. Okay, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, got to catch that ball. Absolutely. You got to catch the ball. Absolutely. But you cannot dismiss the fact that you was in the red zone 3 times prior and came away with only 3 points. Multiple occasions, 3 and out, giving the ball back to Washington countless times. He wasn't able to score 5 touchdowns if you didn't give them the ball 5 times. And I commend the defense. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, yes, absolutely. Sorry. Absolutely. You knowing that you're one of those people that they got the eye out on, that they got, that they're looking at, that they're, you already got the first unsportsmanlike conduct, but you're already playing the league, and even someone like Jalen Carter, who I love, that, the referee is going to have it out for you. So you got to control yourself in that situation. But even in that situation, for the defense to go out there and give this offense 5 turnovers, 5 turnovers, people, 5 of them. And for your offense to get you 6 points out of 5 turnovers, that's not what an offense needs to do. And it puts an emphasis on how important Jalen Hurts really is to this offense, to this Eagles team. This Eagles team will go as far as Jalen Hurts goes, period. This Eagles team will go as far as Jalen Hurts goes. And that's factual. Jalen Hurts impacts the run game. Jalen Hurts impacts the passing games. Shoot, Jalen Hurts had 40 yards. We talk about Saquon having 100 yards in the first quarter. Our quarterback had 40 already in the first quarter. So easily, with him in the game, Saquon Barkley easier had 200. Easily had 200, even though he's still on pace to break the record. He had 150 last on Sunday afternoon. I think it's about 268 yards to go. So that's still up. But nonetheless, Jalen Hurts is the key to this offense success. Jalen Hurts is the key to this offense winning playoff games. Jalen Hurts is the key to this team winning a Super Bowl. I don't believe the defense is a luxury. The defense is very good. But in the same token, they go hand in hand. You can play defense all you want. If we seen it Sunday afternoon, you can play defense all you want. They gave them 5 turnovers. If you can't score points in this NFL, you won't win. You would sit there and say, hey, we scored 33 points. Do you know how we got the 33 points? We had to rely on Jake Elliott to kick field goals. Kick another field goal. That's what our offense was after Jalen Hurts went out with the concussion injury. So all you people who saying, could they still have won? Absolutely. This isn't a discussion about this particular isolated game, because we'll dive into the game itself knowing that we actually could have won this game. Yes, I already mentioned the Devontae Smith drop. Already mentioned it. We were up. Yes, absolutely. But the struggle for that is where it comes in line with me. When people have this conversation, when you sit here and say these many quarterbacks are in front of Jalen Hurts, that this offense is so special that they can move and it can work without Jalen Hurts. And even to that notion, I agree. If Jalen Hurts was to not have to play this upcoming Sunday, God forbid, and Kenny Pickett is in, do I believe Kenny Pickett would totally, falter with the type of talent? Absolutely not. Because he shows some things that first of all, when I'm in the game, I'm looking at one person and one person only. I'm going to AJ Brown, and that's not a bad thing to do. You still have Devontae Smith out there that got open quite a few times, even on the drop pass that could have sealed just the game. But that's not what it's about. This conversation is about all the things people speak about as Jalen Hurts just being just another guy. Jalen Hurts is not just another guy in this NFL. And I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in this NFL. He's not going to do it the way you wanted. He spoke about it last week. He's not going to do it the way you want us to do it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen or Joe Burrow who can throw the rock. I give them that. They are talented throwers of the football. But to sit there and say that Jalen Hurts does not impact this game majorly is asinine. It's just a silly comment to make. When you have all these analysts, quarterback gurus, and people on TV, national media, local media, can sit here and utter out of their mouth that Jalen Hurts is more of a passenger than the driver of this thing we call the Philadelphia Eagles. It's silly, a silly comment to make. Because we all know that this team is going to go as far as that's in football in general. A team is going to go as far as your quarterback is going to go, period. But at the same token, for this team to win, Jalen Hurts has to be the man. And up until that injury, Jalen Hurts was willing and dealing since the bye week. And we've seen it. Whether it was impacting the run game, and then as of late, the last couple of games impacting the passing game. What'd he say? This is what y'all wanted to see, right? I'm going to say that for you right now. Is this what y'all wanted to see? The people that are saying that Jalen Hurts can't do this, can't do that, he's a passenger. You got to see what you wanted to see. Kenny Pickett was in there ready to go. Couldn't get the win. could have gotten the win, but it shouldn't have got to that space of having to make that first down catch. If we scored the football in the end zone one time, our chances of winning would have been even higher. The simple fact that it had to come down to a drive, a Smitty drop, and a drive by the Commanders to win the game, it shouldn't even have went that way. Do we remember, prime example, going into last week against the Steelers, the big thing was, and even Russell Wilson stated it himself, that we had opportunities we could have capitalized on it. But in that second half, when you only get 2 chances to go at it, your chances of actually winning the game were very limited. So do we believe with Jalen Hurts in the game, and let's say hypothetically for the people who want to sit there and say it would have been tougher, because I do believe the more times you play a division, a team in general, but especially a division rival more than one time, it's going to be harder. It's going to be more difficult. Pause, not harder, but difficult to win the game. Absolutely. But do you believe drive after drive offensively, we wouldn't have got anything? 3 and out. The time of possession game wouldn't have been there. Held the Steelers off the floor, kept their offense off the floor for the whole second half. The second half, they had 2 possessions during the second half of the game. 2 possessions. So you think we wouldn't have milked the clock? You think we wouldn't have long, extended drives? Again, I wouldn't say it would have been perfect, but I absolutely, deep down inside myself, know absolutely would have done more on offense than what was displayed in that game. Would have did way more during that game. Let's dive into the game just a little bit, break it down. So if we just go, surface level. So again, pretty evenly, because again, I give much credit to the defense and how they played in the circumstances that it was played in. I agree. I mean, but it's a moment. It ain't about being cute. That's football. People get hurt. That's not the discussion. That's not the discussion. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. Being hurt is not my discussion. That's not the discussion. My discussion is the people talking about Jalen Hurts not being a quarterback or the quarterback or the bus driver for this. The offense got too many weight. But absolutely. Offense, the Washington Commanders offense got way too many possessions because our offense couldn't produce any touchdowns specifically. We got field goals, but we all know this is a touchdown league. Field goals don't win you games. You might can walk off on a field goal, but just kick a field goals don't win you games. 23. This is Washington 23 first downs to our 20. Washington rushed for 113 yards, all 24 carries, to our 39 for our 211. And let's put a little bit of context on this. I know what you would say, oh, well, we still outgained them on the ground. 140 of them yards was in the first quarter. The 140 of those rushing yards was in the first quarter. Because I just told you Saquon had 100 yards in the first quarter, and Jalen Hurts had 40 something yards in the first quarter. So essentially, few scrambles by Kenny Pickett, converted a first down or two, and then I believe Saquon only had about 60 something yards to end the game. So we're talking about 70 plus yards of total rushing yards in the second half. So you have that going for you rushing wise. So they beat us in that one because essentially all their rushing yards came in the second half, essentially, because they couldn't really get much. And a lot of that was Jaden Daniels getting it up on his feet, picking it up on his feet. Here we go. Washington. 39 passes completed, 24 of them for 258 yards and 5 touchdowns. And 5 TDs and 2 interceptions. After total yards, I think Jalen only had about 11 yards before he got hurt. So you take 11 yards off of 154. So we threw the ball 28 times for 28 times and 15 completed yards. And like I said, Jalen, you take 2 of them yards. Jalen, I think 2 passes for 11 yards or 1 pass for 11 yards. Let me see specifically. So he completed 1 pass. He attempted 4. Jalen Hurts attempted 4. He completed 1 pass, and his longest for 11 yards, but he only completed 1 pass for 11 yards. So take 4 of the completions off. So we had, so essentially after Jalen Hurts left, we had 11 completions for only what? 143 yards in the second half complete. 140 and a 1 touchdown that was set up by Jalen. Actually kind of reminiscent, like, I ain't gonna go that far, but because of Jalen setting us up. We sacked them 4 times for 27 yards to Washington's 1 for 3. Total yards 338 to their 368. We had 2 fumbles, 1 of them lost. They had 3 fumbles, 3 of them lost. That's why you keep talking about the defense. 2 turnovers versus their 5 turnovers that they had. Penalty yards, 10 for 91 yards, so there's 6 for 93 yards. So they're pretty much even there in yardage when it comes to penalties. Might have been called more on our side, but yardage-wise, same thing. Completed 3 out of our 16 third downs. They're telling me this is the defense fault. This is what I'm hearing all morning from especially local news, radio, and all those things like that. They're telling me it's the defense. Completed 3 of our 16 third down conversions versus their 7 to 13. 4th down, 3 of 3. We seen the Kenny Pickett, 4th down conversions to their 2 to 3 conversions. And 2 of them, the 2 that they did was crucial late in the game. Time of possession. We still had time of possession of 36 minutes versus their 23. But context matters in all this. The first quarter of this game, we spent a lot of time. Go back and watch the game. The Commanders had nothing for us for this game. Nothing. We essentially took all the time up in the first quarter. At least 10 minutes of it. So essentially, if you take away at minimum 10 minutes away, time of possession, we're sitting at what? 26 to the 23. So essentially, it's even. It's even when it comes to time of possession. It's even when it comes to time of possession. Let's dive into this game and break it down just even a little more. Get into it because again, it's sickening to hear that defense was the issue, and then also you got the naysayers talking about that Jalen Hurts is more of a passenger to this thing. Kenny Pickett, 14 for 24, 143 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, sacked 3 times, a 72 passer ratio. He didn't kill us. I would not sit here and act like not Kenny. I would not sit here and act like Kenny Pickett hurt us, because he didn't necessarily hurt, but this is what I speak about. He didn't necessarily help. Versus Jaden Daniels, we needed just at least 1 touchdown. Jaden Daniels completed 24 for 39 passes for 259 yards and 5 touchdowns. But we sacked him. We sacked him once. We intercepted him twice. Brian Robinson, their running back, 10 runs for 24 yards, fumbled the ball twice, lost of twice. So the defense did their job, gave us 5 turnovers yesterday. I can't come at the defense today. Would I have liked CJ Gardner-Johnson to let cooler heads prevail? Not because some punk or something. Sometimes we gotta put this pride aside, but we know you ain't no punk, you ain't no nut, you know what I mean? But at the same token, we need you at this moment. Our starting quarterback, franchise quarterback, is not in the game. All hands is on deck. All hands were on deck. You just made a great play with and I believe he got kicked out after the interception. So that makes it even worse. I'm not going to kill CJ Gardner-Johnson like other people are trying to kill him today because of that incident. But absolutely, hey, man, chill. And listening to, reporters and a guy like Seth Joyner specifically, he played the game. And we all know refs give you that chance. Hey, watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. You still going? That's what happens. You already had your first one. You already know you're a target, a person that they look at that, extracurricular, especially within this game, because you already had a personal foul called on you, unsportsmanlike conduct called on you. So it ain't 3 strikes or I was 2. You get that second one, you're gone. So we need you. All hands are on deck at this moment. But it's not good enough for me to just gloss over the fact that this offense wasn't able to at least get 1 touchdown. And again, this isn't an argument or a discussion about Kenny Pickett, because I can be real. I can speak truth and fact to the point of there is a tough spot, a divisional game, not expecting to play at all, being thrust in something into a team like this with aspirations that the team have, knowing that the number 1 seed is up for grabs, and you got guys like Detroit and the Vikings, Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings still winning games. I know they don't know that that's going on at the moment, but they know, we have to win out to be able to have a chance at it and hope that they lose. It was a tough situation. And we know in today's game, backups don't really get any reps in practice time. So whatever that offense is catered to Jalen Hurts' skill set and his, pros and cons. Absolutely. So again, God forbid if Kenny Pickett has to come and play next week, I hope he doesn't have to. But if he has to play, I do believe it will be more of a settled situation. I don't believe I'm not going to put him in the Nick Foles category, because even though when Nick Foles came in, I still had a belief in Nick Foles because I knew Nick Foles was actually still a good quarterback with the right system. And for some reason, when he's back in Philadelphia, he just played outstanding. But again, I do believe he probably will play better, with this talent, and maybe an offense more catered to him. But 1 touchdown, all we needed was 1 damn TD off of 1 of them turnovers, bro, literally. Absolutely. Just 1. We could have kicked field goals the rest of the game. We just needed 1. Our defense gave us 5. You don't get 5 turnovers in an NFL game and still lose. Yes, we had one earlier in the year when Detroit, what's the boy? Jared Goff threw 5 and they still won. Absolutely. But that's Jared Goff, not Kenny Pickett. And I'm not saying Jared Goff is an elite quarterback, top 5, because I don't put Jared Goff in the same breath as Jalen Hurts, and that's facts. I don't care what anyone says about that. I would expect Jalen Hurts to maybe overcome a couple turnover games, interception games, whatever like that. Not Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry, I got mixed up. I expect him to overcome something like that. But I needed Kenny Pickett to give us something. Because everyone wants to even go to the fact that Devontae Smith dropped that pass. And we all know, yes, in the totality of things, if he catches that pass, we're running the clock out and game's over. Or at least at minimum kicking another field goal on top of it to where if they go down and score, they're not up. At worst, it's a tie game. Even with the 2-point conversion. But in the essence of this discussion of Jalen Hurts being the guy versus not being the guy, we needed a touchdown. Something. And we had opportunity in the game to do so. The offense was in the red zone 3 different times. We left with either none or 3 points. And I'm not talking about on the 20 or the 30, 20, 25. No, we're 15 and shorter in the red zone. Back to Jalen Hurts. When he's not in the game, guess what we can do? I know Saquon was probably looking at that game like he was back in New York. The 8-man, 9-man boxes that they had, all the defenders down. And then corners press coverage on our wide receivers. Not saying that they did anything well because they still was getting open, but we all know, especially with someone like Kenny Pickett, he's not a off-script kind of quarterback where he can extend plays and throw down the field and whatever that might be. But we know he has a throwing rhythm. We know that if things are knocked off for a half a second in the NFL when they pressing and the slant is not right there, then now you got, and they blitz them like crazy, free man off this way. He's not getting away. He's not extending that play. He has some cute plays. I agree. This isn't a Kenny Pickett, Kenny small hands, Kenny gloves bashing party. This is just me emphasizing that stop disrespecting QB1 and Jalen Hurts. Period. Stop saying he's a passenger. Saquon is and I love Saquon every day. Y'all know me. Y'all been following me. Y'all know I think the Giants every day. Thank you, Giants, for Saquon Barkley. Every day. There's no way you can sit here and say that our quarterback isn't the guy for this job and that we're not winning a championship because of this guy. He's not going to be a passenger. If we want to win playoff games in the Super Bowl, guess who has to show up and guess who has to play? The quarterback. And guess what? You can't just plug anybody in this offense and just play. Outside of, we all know the top heads. We all know. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, outside of Joey B, Joe Burrow, outside of Josh Allen, outside of maybe and even Lamar Jackson. It ain't too many quarterbacks you just throwing in here and you just saying, hey, let's go win a Super Bowl because you could just throw the ball to A.J. Brown. People want to probably point out Sam Darnold in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, Addison, Adam Jones. They're playing very, very well. I'm not going to discredit them. We talking about Sam Darnold. Let's see. Playoff time around. Let's see. Let's absolutely see what you got, what you're going to do when it's crunch time, and when you playing against a good team. Because at the end of the day, we all know that the NFL playoffs is a different beast. Every play matters. Every second matters. Every possession matters. Every tip ball. Every quarterback, center quarterback exchange. Every quarterback running back exchange. Every quarterback throw. Every penalty that's called, every assignment that you're supposed to be in matters. That second half hit, the time is clocking down, anxiety's up, stress levels up, the moment gets bigger. So if you want to jump on that, they're playing well. Minnesota, that is, Sam Darnold. But we will see. But just to sit there and just have a blanket statement of, you throw anybody in there, throw Jacoby Brissett back there. Yeah, you can win games, but we ain't in the business of trying to just win games. This team is ready for the Super Bowl. This defense is ready for the Super Bowl. This offense is ready for the Super Bowl. This quarterback is hungry and ready to go back and avenge and get that Super Bowl. This running back that we have, who's been in New York for 8 years, never winning anything of significance, is ready to win a Super Bowl. A.J. Brown, coming from Tennessee, is ready to win a Super Bowl. Devontae Smith, coming off a national championship, comes to the NFL. That's all he knows is winning. It's a Super Bowl. Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer, wants a Super Bowl. So just throwing any quarterback in there, yes, you can win some games. But we are in the business and wanting to win a Super Bowl, people. And let's get into this defense. Again, to sit here and wake up this morning and have the notion on your mind that the defense lost this game or should have impacted the game more is just absolutely silly. Silly rabbit tricks are for kids. They have to sit there and say, Zach Bond, 11 combined tackles. No, Kobe Dean, 12 combined tackles. They in double digits again. Tackles for loss by Zach Bond. 2 of them. Darius Slay, who was, shouts to Slay. Big play Slay. Big play Slay was on the display majorly yesterday. Played his butt off yesterday. Has to give it to him. Have to give him his credit where credit is due. Have to give him credit. Sacked by Nolan Smith. Another one again. Showing up on the play. Showing up again. Interception by Reed Blankenship. Interception by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Forced fumble by Zach Bond. Forced fumble by Cooper DeJean. Forced fumble by Jalen Carter. And you're telling me this is on the defense? You're telling me this is on a defense? Stop. You're silly. You're being silly. You're being silly. Defense is on there, probably on the field. I don't even got to look at the numbers to know they want to field longer than the offense at more times. All I seen in the second half was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And again, I'm not saying all this to, believe it or not, I know I'm a little, expressive right now and animated right now. But overall, I'm not upset at the loss. It's more so the discussions prior and after the loss. Because I believe specifically that the team is well. The team is okay. You get your QB back because if he's fine and he's healthy, he's good, we're good. Because again, the defense showed what they were capable of in a situation like that. Could they hold it down? They needed some help from the offense to do something. What we got here in the comments? I'm kind of mad about how we ran the ball on 3rd and 15, how I didn't go for it on 4th and 2 when there was 2 minutes left in the game. Everyone. And that's a good point that you bring up. I'm glad you bring it up. Eagles for life. Thank you for the comment, for sure. I absolutely agree with that, but here's the kicker. Here's the thing where I would say to that, and just this topic of discussion of this show today. If that was Jalen Hurts, that's no problem. That's what you just said is not even the issue. First of all, we're throwing on 3rd and 15, and if we get close enough, push time. We know that, absolutely. But I would say that because I would say this, watching that game, you also realized that they didn't have the trust and faith in Kenny Pickett to be able to do that. I'm not saying it's more about Kenny, because probably next week, God forbid, I don't want Kenny to play. I want y'all to know that for sure. I do not want Kenny Pickett to play. But if there was an opportunity or that was the case, it would probably be called different because he would have more things lined up for him. But that's still more an indictment on who they had at quarterback versus why they didn't do it. They rather punt the ball, put it in our defense hand, who I just spoke about is playing out of their mind right now. But players in and out of the lineup, the excessive time being on the field, and then losing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and having the young guy Tristan McCullum in there who showed up on tape but not in a good way. Though all those games compounded that at the end, eventually they would have broken, and it happened. Smitty could have saved that break from happening if he just catches the ball. Absolutely. But that's not even on my mind. That's not even on my mind when it comes to Smitty dropping that pass. That's just more about the game yesterday and how it ended. Just like Saquon dropping the pass in week 2 with Atlanta. We had other issues surrounding that. Yes, we would have won that game, but we still had issues with the team that we seen even after that Atlanta game, and even winning a game, one out of the 2 games we played after that, going 2-2 into the bye. It was a lot of things we still had to clean. So we had issues beyond just Saquon dropping that pass. And with this game as well, outside of Smitty dropping that pass, he had a sensational game. It was a key part of even getting down the field at that moment. You make that pass, we probably run out of the clock and we win the game. Absolutely. But the conversation of our quarterback not being the guy, not being top 5, not being elite in his own right is silly to me. And I'm said it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Defense couldn't catch their breath. Yeah, you're right, 100%. So that's my biggest, discussion point of today. And you guys that's watching this, that's going to watch this later on, you let me know. You put it in the comments. Am I wrong? Explain to me. Discuss with me. Let me know. And everyone's invited to have this discussion. Let me know. Am I wrong in thinking this? Or do you really believe that anybody can just go on this team and go and win a championship? You guys let me know. But again, overall, the team played the best they could. And if a few things go their way, we can win that game. They just didn't at the end of the game. But you guys about Jalen Hurts, man, sheesh. And you guys this morning talking about the defense, stop it. Let's just leave that alone. Let's just leave that. Let's listen to this is AJ Brown after the post game. Let's listen to him and his comments about the team moving forward and the game.
You mentioned a lot of self-inflicted wounds. Obviously, there's no moral victory, but I'm assuming when you guys kind of look back on this, you'll still be confident that you can go out and do the things that you guys do to get wins all season.
Absolutely. That was one of the things I just said to the team. I Nobody's in here better not lose no confidence. You know, you don't let hard times humble you. It's not even a hard time. This is stuff you can control. Life happens, and you're not going to get everything you want, you know. And good thing we have another opportunity in front of us. Yes, you can let it fuel you. To me, I don't. You know, me personally, you know, when the game is over, it's over, even win or lose. So, I mean, I'm not attached to it with the emotion. You know, what fulfills me is the matchup and me compete at a high level. So
you had a nice moment with McLaurin after the game. You guys both went over 1,000 yards today. How fun is it just competing against other wide receivers in this league?
Man, I got a lot of love and respect for Terry. Literally told him today, man, good luck today. You know, have a good game, and it's just a great thing to see. You know, we're in the same draft class, and you know, I'm excited for him. You know, he really got the ball rolling, and I'm excited for him. So
Appreciate it.
So what was happening?
That was AJ Brown, and my sentiments exactly. And Smitty, obviously they had a conversation. He said he met with the team after the game. He talked to him and let them know, this, all these things can be fixed. And Smitty echoed those same sentiments in his post game conference when the locker rooms was open. Same thing. What Smitty say? I just got to catch the damn ball. I called for the ball. He threw me the ball. I dropped the ball. They asked him about how does he feel, moving forward, this, that, and the third, because, they think, now we're going to spiral or something like that, I guess. I don't know, but said the same thing. No, this over. We moving on. On the next week, we got dollars next week. We lost. What are we going to do? I can't do anything for it now. But it ain't over. Everything that happened is all things that can be corrected. Smitty, like I said, Smitty catch the ball, game's over. If we able to score one touchdown, chances go even higher that we can complete the game and win the game. Defense, 5 takeaways. 5 takeaways from the defense. What you want them to get 6? And again, yes, I would take 6, but it's like, come on. Everything that happened, that transpired in that game, I still left that game relieved, okay, not down, still optimistic, and still not afraid of anyone. Most likely, because we're going to start moving on into the segment of, this division, for sure. Most likely, the number 1 seed is out of reach or not really in play unless for some unforeseen circumstance that the Vikings lose this week and the Lions lose their last 2 games, which I'm not saying is impossible, but like let's just be real. It's just the likelihood of it is out of reach. But I still am not. We get a home game. We clinch the NFC East. We'll get that. We at least get 1 home game. If we gotta go on a road and play Detroit or Minnesota or something like that, then I have no. Well, we wouldn't go on a road to Minnesota, I don't think. But I don't have any inkling or any, fear of doing that. The way this defense plays and the way this offense is and the way we play offense. I have no issue with any of those things. Any of those things. Let's see what we got here. Get some more comments here. No worries. We win 1 more game and all hell comes through Philly. These media frauds are talking about how the Commanders D-line killing Saquon when Hurts. Spoke about that. You're absolutely right. When you got a guy like Kenny Pickett back there, it's easy to game plan. It's easy to just peck the box and make him throw, knowing that he ain't going to kill you throwing the ball. Absolutely. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Pickett was a good sustained drives. Absolutely. I mean, the longest drive we had, the 84-yard drive we had, was all penalties. Literally 3 penalties were called on Marcus Lattimore holding AJ Brown. 3. That wasn't Kenny Pickett throwing it across the lot. Again, man, I'm okay. I feel okay. We feel good. I'm not scared of anyone. And I said this before. You can go back. I said this before we even was in the hunt to even try and go for the number one seed, that the way we were trending, the way we were playing, the way how we play offensively and defensively, we could take this on the road and win. We will see the last 2 games, how they play out, because obviously all these games are going to matter. We need one more to win the division. So I know this week we're going to try our best to at least get this win to win the division, to get that settled. We'll see what Dallas and what Minnesota does, because that will play a lot into what we do the last week. Is it a scenario that both of them lose and then they play each other the last week of the season and we're in play for the number one seed? Then there we go. But outside of that, me personally, get everybody healthy, go win this division next week, get my players healthy, and let's go to the playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, obviously, let's look at these standings. Let me pull the standings up really fast for you guys. All right. They're currently 12-3, so obviously we know that a lot of that's gonna change. Oh, that's not what I wanted to pick. Okay, there we go. So a lot of that is going. We all know a lot of that's going to change, because obviously we're 12-3 now. And they're both 13-2. The Lions and Vikings, so they're tied for the number one seed in division. Commanders are right behind us at 12 and 10-5. They got their 10th win on the season. So all intents and purposes, we talking about the playoffs, first round. We're looking at either seeing right now, it'll be the Commanders if the game was the end. Oh, Packers, they're 10-4. So there you go. Then that's the same division, the Packers. So all of the Commanders or the Packers. Right now, the Commanders have that 5th seed right now. The Packers, they didn't play. They'll be playing. I don't think they play tonight. But whenever they play, that will go into fall. So it'll either be the Commanders or the Packers coming up in the playoffs to see who will be playing in the playoffs. But let's wrap up that division. And let's see who we got. And if it's the Commanders again, let's have it. 3rd time the charm. We beat y'all home. Y'all beat us at home. Now come back to Philly and let's see what you got. And let's see what you got with our quarterback. I'm not making the excuse of, we lost because we didn't have our quarterback. Although that plays a part, absolutely. We still had a chance to win, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But my only discussion today is just you got to stop the conversations about Jalen Hurts not being the guy in the NFL and specifically for this team. Saquon Barkley still on pace to break the record. If we could do that, that'll be great as well. But we'll see, man. This next game would definitely tell us a lot going forward down the stretch as far as what we're going to do, how we're going to play, what the team should do. Like I spoke about before, injuries. We had a lot of different in and out injuries. Jordan Davis left the game for some time. Josh Sweat was in and out of the lineup for some time. We all know he got kicked out. That was an injury, but Slay was in and out of the lineup as well. The Kobe Dean left out. So we had a lot of guys going in and out of the lineup during the game. So players were getting nicked up. So again, that's why I said, go win this division next week, and wherever the chips may lie, they may lie. Point blank period. And that's why I'm rocking with my team. And I have no issues. We still going to win this thing. Appreciate you guys all coming and joining the show today. I have fun time talking about this. A little frustrating. We all know we're a little disappointed. We definitely had a win that we could have had. I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that. We definitely had a win that we could have went out there and stole another one essentially like that. But, we didn't get it. Learning experience. The team knowing that, got to lock in a little more. All these things are learning experience. This is different from last year, everyone. Although we lost a lot last year, or down the stretch we lost down the stretch of last year, that was a team that didn't have an identity or didn't know which way to go. Coaching changes, coordinator changes, all the above. This is a different team. They overcorrect, they learn from their mistakes, and they're all about winning. They're all about winning. They're all about winning, and the best way to win. The best way to win. So let's get ready for the playoffs, everybody. We have a good time. Appreciate you guys again. All the pleasure sheets. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah. Programming news. You'll hear the news very shortly. Live stream, playoff time. Make sure you join in. Open gym will be up full in effect. Live streaming, watching the games with you guys. So make sure you're in the room with us. Check us out. Have some friends, have some guests. They're going to be over. They're going to be watching the game, get the interactions, see how we act, how we go crazy watching these games as well. So playoff times is definitely going to be a fun time. Watch parties in full effect. Anything else? Sixers play tonight. Joel Embiid looks like he's playing tonight as well. It's a home game. We play Wemby is in town with Chris Paul and the Spurs. So we're getting ready for that tonight as well. Let's see if we can get another win. All three will be playing: Paul George, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. But we'll get into that more later on this week after they play. And I know we lost, and I know we don't do it when we lose, but I feel good about this team. I feel good about the playoffs. So we're going to rock the song all day, and we're going to rock the song right now before we get out of here because we already know it's Bird game to the end of it. Play my song. I appreciate you guys. This is Open Gym. This is Philly Sports Network. This is the Eagles. And we are going to fly to the Super Bowl. Trust and believe that. It ain't over. It's far from over. Get healthy, Jalen, and let's do it. Until next time, I'm your boy AB. This is Philly Sports Network, Open Gym, and I am out here. Yes, sir.